how have you been? Where in the world are you?
I'm at home. I bought a house in Atlanta, so I am in my
What? When
house.
did you do
Yeah.
that?
Like 3 months ago. It was so quick, and I was like, next thing I know, I was in a house.
Holy, that is
Yeah.
amazing. Is it home moaning or do you love it?
Um,
Like
I
it sounds.
love it. It is a lot to take care of, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
write my album at the same time. So I'm like, wait, whoa, whoa, this was a
Whoa,
lot to do
that is a lot.
all together.
Are
But
you
I
working on
feel
your album in
blessed.
Atlanta?
I'm working on it all over the place. I've been in
All over the
London, I've
place.
been in LA, Atlanta. I just like popping to different studios, different
Yeah.
people, and
Throw
still
down some
trying to
magic,
like
walk away.
I'm still trying to figure everything out, I think, but I'm getting close.
What direction is this new album taking
Mm, I think
musically?
I'm just trying to for the sounds to be a bit more expansive than it was before, really honing in on the ideal of being genreless and that I don't have to pick a
Ooh.
lane and I could just like do whatever feels good and just focus on making good songs and not so much like is this cohesive with the other song,
Oh,
like just
I love that.
here's just 11 really good songs or
That
whatever,
you love with the
Yeah.
unifier of my amazing voice. I think that is awesome.
Thank you.
Are you doing any? Are you? I remember last time when we were talking about dance music, which just cracked me up. You're like, this is so like you just need. That's it. Are you working on any other dance tracks, or are you keeping away from that?
Um, I am definitely open to it. Funny enough, I had a moment where I was like, "Oh, I will do my own dance track. This is easy." It was not.
Wait, I need to hear that again. For the record, it was
It
not.
was
Wait,
not. Because I was
for
just like,
you though, it probably is. I actually was thinking like, well, she should just
I
literally put
have
out dance banger after dance banger.
Listen, I have not totally given up on this idea of one day being a DJ who sings on top, like live. You know how you do with the keys, like you're a real keyboardist and you're bringing
Okay,
that
so
element
but
into
and
your thing.
here's the truth: is like I'm not even like I'm there's. I mean I've been studying my whole life, but I'm not like naturally good. Like I'm not that good of a piano player. And in the dance world, the kids who are at raves are like, "Whoa, a piano!" So imagining your level of skill, like live at a show, would blow their
I
minds.
really want to do it, but it's gonna take a lot. Like I was just like, oh, okay, let me get a dance beat, bass line, boop boop boop, and a couple.
A couple snare rolls and a swoosh and
Right.
yeah, I
Trash.
thought it'd be
Trash.
easier too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had so much respect. I said,
Well, I
oh,
also think though that like every dance producer in the world would want to work with you, so you could almost like just have your pick of the whatever it is, pick of the litter, and
yeah.
really
And
make some
have them do
crazy.
it.
And well, I mean, and collaborate with them, and then
Yeah.
put your vocal on. I mean,
Well, to be,
every dance producer would want your vocals on their track, guaranteed. Also,
I
actually,
actually,
I just played this like after party at ACL, and I played "Carry Me Higher."
mm-hmm.
Is that the name of the day? And this woman comes running out of nowhere to the very front of the deck. She goes, "I love Danielle Ponder." I know. I was
Oh,
like, "Okay, just wait till Friday, October 18th."
I can't wait. I'm so excited for that one to come out. But yeah, I think what I love about dance is how freeing it is. You know what I mean? Like I remember like whether it was you or Blessed Madonna being like, "Oh my god, okay, so what's the second verse and like what's the third verse?" And y'all were like, "Chill." You know what I mean? Just do some things from your heart, just feel good as long as you feel good about what you're putting out there. And there's just like a freedom with dance music that I love so much. And it just I'm learning, I've learned that it's still hard to produce, but I think as a vocalist, it's about just catching the moment that feels really good and letting people live in that moment. And sometimes I think in like, the soul world, you just feel like you have to do so much and give so many moments and run here and a this there and da 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 da. And sometimes now you just got to find the groove, and when you find that groove, just let it keep hitting. So
Dude, this is my exact experience of finding dance music. I remember thinking like, I was studying jazz in college, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then my friend was like, "It's body music. Like it's like meditative. It's supposed to just feel good in your body." And in studying jazz, it was like, how many notes can you play over these chord changes, and and it was like so intellectualized and like stop feeling good in my body, and that is exactly what sucked me in, and just to like really like lock into that groove. Oh, I love that you had that experience.
And that's what's difficult is finding if like you can find one groove that could last the whole fucking song.
7 minutes.
Groove, it gotta be the shit. Like that groove has to be exceptional. It's all you got. Where in other forms you can have 10 opportunities to grab the listener.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, just anyway.
That is a really good point. It better make you dance. That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, what I was blown away by in working with you is that you did so much with one vocal idea. You did the melodies that you danced around within that vocal idea just blew my mind. It was like we're listening to like a 1950s jazz singer, and then there's belting, and then there was I was so impressed with your range of what you did with 3 words.
Thank you.
It was wild. I'll touch on that later, but I just was blown away by that, which is why I know any dance producer would die to work with you. And I was just curious if like that was still kind of, I know that you're working on your album and your music, which I think is smart and is what you should focus on. But I was curious if you were making other dance records, just because that Carry Me Higher track is still just such a bop.
I'm waiting for Black Coffee to call me. You put me on the Black Coffee. Yeah. So I'm like putting it out in the universe.
Oh my God, wait, I do remember that. Wait.
You were like, you would really love Black Coffee. And I went and listened to his album, and I was like,
so you liked it?
Oh my God. It was amazing. Every moment. So that's on my bucket list. Okay,
so his agent is my agent. I'm going to pass that information along.
Please call him.
That would be insane.
I'm ready. I'm
just gonna make a note of that. Intro, Danielle. Yeah, I mean he's amazing. I played him at Red Rocks, and it was like that location and his. I mean, it was so special.
Yeah, really soulful, really tasteful. Just
and his vocal choices are really really tasteful.
Yes, love.
Oh my God! Wait, you guys would make some magic.
I need this to happen. I need that. Yes, ma'am.
I love that. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna jump into your little intro. I might mess up and need to start over. Okay. You are listening to Femme House Radio with your host, LP Giobbi, and this week we have a very special show for you. My album, Daughter, just dropped last week, and the focus track is a collaboration with Danielle Ponder. Before I dive into her bio, I just want to tell the listeners a quick personal story. A staple in my DJ sets over the last year has been the Blessed Madonna, Joy Anonymous, and Danielle Ponder track. When I first heard it, I figured that Blessed Madonna and Joy had sampled a jazz singer from the 1950s because no way was I alive during the same time as this incredible singer. Flash forward to earlier this year when I was sending off some tracks to my publisher for ideas for vocalists, and he hits me back, "What about Danielle Ponder?" I literally screamed and said, "You are telling me someone of that caliber exists today?" I was so excited about the potential of working with her. We met up at a studio shortly after that. I played her the track, and within minutes, she walked to the mic singing "Is This Love" as my jaw was on the floor. So without further ado, this week's guest is the one and only Danielle Ponder. In 2021, she quit her job as a public defender in Rochester, New York, and signed her first record deal. The resulting album, Some of Us Are Brave, generated critical praise, dozens of sync placements, including theme songs for Manhunt, Queen Sugar, Truth Be Told, and 4 major TV appearances. As she gears up for the release of her sophomore album, Danielle continues to advocate for criminal justice reform and has been an influential leader in the Black Lives Matter movement in Rochester, New York. Welcome to Femme House, radio, Danielle.
Oh, thank you so much. That was
Thank
so
you.
sweet. I loved it. Thank you.
So tell us your origin story. How did you go from being a public defender to signing a record deal? What were the steps in between?
I have been playing music for a long time, but it was always like my side gig, like just having fun. Wasn't really thinking I was going to do it full time. And honestly, like when I went to law school, I was like, oh my God, I had to focus so much on being in law school that I didn't really have music as much. And I just was like, oof, I made the wrong choice. I need to be an artist. But I was in law school at that point, and I'm like, well, I got to finish law school. And then when I graduated, I was like, well, I can't just not do anything with this degree. I got to practice a little bit. But at that point, I knew like eventually I'm going to do music full time. So I was like, I'm going to do just 2 years of practicing, and then I'll do music. 2 years turned into 5. 5 turned into, I quit for a minute and then went back. 5 turned into 7. And then finally, I had that moment where it was clear that music was my path, and I had the people around me who could help me get there. And so I decided, like, I got to do this. But it's been
What was
20
the moment
years.
that made it clear?
Chris Doritas, who was my former manager, he heard me on a playlist on Apple Music, and he called me and said, I want to do a Zoom meeting with you. And, well, first he was like, can I speak to your team? And I'm like, what?
You're talking to her.
Yeah, we didn't use that language back then. But long story short, Chris changed my life. He brought in Tom Windish. They brought in a bunch of other folks. And within a couple months, I had a booking agent. I had a publicist. I had a record label. I mean, I was still working, actually. And I was flying to LA and then coming home and working. And then I told my boss, like, I think this is taking off. It's looking crazy right now.
Wow.
So
that is incredible. But so how did you had a track on Apple Music. Like, how did you even know how to get a song on Apple Music?
So I actually I had been uploading my own music through like some, I think like DistroKid or something like that.
Yeah.
But I went to Australia and I worked with this band, Karate Boogaloo. And I went to Australia to visit my friends, but I was like, oh, let me, try to find artists I can work with. So I ended up finding this band, Karate Boogaloo, and they were on a label. And so that song was on an Apple playlist. And so that's the song I was featured on. And so that's how it all just started to snowball.
Well, speaking of Apple, your song "Roll the Credits" was featured in this year's Apple 16 commercial campaign, which is, I mean, one of the sickest things you can get. What was your first reaction when you found out that was happening?
Like, oh my God. Like, honestly, it's my list of things. An Apple TV commercial is something I've always wanted. I feel like they always have like cool songs and such great like art. The visuals are so amazing.
Yes.
And so it's just like, and the reach is just insane. And when I saw it, we kept waiting for it to come out because I knew for a while, but it was very like top secret. Couldn't even see it. Like, we didn't even know what part of the song they were using. We didn't know what it was going to look like. So,
the power of Apple is real.
Right. And so when it came out, I was like, oh my God, I love it. And it's just a moment. It's just one of those moments in your career where you just are like, oh, God is so good. And I'm so thankful. And, it's yeah.
Did you see, did you feel a big change after that?
Definitely. I mean, the momentum, like on my social media, tons of comments on my YouTube. I think that's how we first realized it had dropped, because someone from like Korea put a comment and we were like, oh my God. So, and then, we just get people from Brazil, people from all over the world. This is a worldwide commercial. I still haven't seen it in the wild. I haven't been
watching TV and
watch TV, but
good for you.
But my people have sent me clips of them singing it, or I just got so many messages from people that they heard it. So
I can't tell you how many times my mom's been like, so when are you going to be an Apple commercial? I'm like, Mom, that is no small feat. That is that would be like winning the lottery, okay?
You know what? And who even knows how they choose? You know what I mean? Like,
well, they choose good songs.
They do. And some people, were undiscovered, no label, and, it really changed their lives.
I'm dear friends with Sophie Tucker, and I went on their first tour in the U.S. We were in a minivan and, like playing to like 50 people. And then they got an Apple iPhone sync. Actually, I think it was the 10. And boom, a month later, we're on a tour bus.
Well,
and like everybody was coming to shows to hear that song. I mean, it was game changing. Yeah, I couldn't believe how powerful that was. So huge congrats. You are very, very deserving of that. I'm very, very happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So our single just came out. Is This Love? Go stream it.
Is it really love?
There it is. Tell us what this song is about to you.
I think, the conversation we were having at the time, like these dating apps and all of these dates and things I've been doing. And I don't know, I think it's like sometimes I get super excited about someone without like really, investigating a little bit more. Like I get a little excited prematurely. And I think at the time we were talking about a guy I was excited prematurely about. And I think that's like where the question came from. Like, is this love? Like, girls, you really feeling all of this for him? Or is it something else going on?
You were literally like, I mean, is this love? Is this really love?
And then I remember after the date, I text you, this ain't love, girl. This wasn't love. He was not enough for me. So, true story.
It is a true story. Oh, I love that. So the melodies you chose in the intro and breakdown are so advanced and nuanced and still blow my mind. How did you learn how to hear and sing those types of riffs? Is there an artist that influenced you in that way? Is there a school that you came from? Like, just mind-blowing to me.
I think it's, the music to me calls for what it wants and it tells you where to go. I didn't go to school for singing. I have some of the greatest teachers who, like Nina Simone and Aretha Franklin and Tina Turner. Those are people who I've listened to and I've studied a lot. But I think those three singers are probably my favorite singers. And I think what they do is they let, they sing with so much emotion. And it's almost like they let the music tell them where to go. Especially Nina Simone. She was never afraid to do her own thing. Like, she did a lot of cover songs. Aretha Franklin did too. And they always had their own little style to it. And I think the only way you do that is by really being open to letting, the music, guide you and just being able to flow. And to have a bit of a freedom when you're singing. And not be worried too much about, how many runs you do. It's just, I love singing. It's such an emotional experience. It just, I love it more than anything. But for me, I think the music is so beautiful and the production, it was so easy to just get on the mic and the music.
I'm blown away to hear that because, it's like, just sort of the production was like very basic, kind of hard, and like how you, this beauty and this gentleness that you put over it, the contrast really to me brought that song to life. I thought that was brilliant how you approached it, and still gives me goosebumps. I mean, I've been playing it out in my sets, and it's definitely the best song of my sets, and it's not even out. It's been amazing.
I think your playing is so beautiful and so emotive, and I think that's what makes it easy. There's definitely music, that people can play you and you can't find the voice. You can't find the melody. And that doesn't mean that
I can't imagine
not
that
good.
For you. Yeah, right.
Just it's not, I'm not connecting to it.
Yeah.
And I think because you are a keyboardist and an actual player, it makes it easier. It made it easier for me to find the emotion and to, flow through with the music.
Well, I think that was
so
a dream.
dope. I've seen a lot of your videos. Girl, you be up there playing that piano. Okay.
I can't tell you how
see it. I love it.
I literally yelled when I was like, "What about Danielle Ponder on this track?" I was like, "Ah!" Yeah, I think that you're like a once in a generation talent. So once in a lifetime talent.
Thank you so much.
Last question for you: what is next for you? What do we have to look forward to?
This album. I have to get this album done. I'm working on it right now as we speak. I'm trying to finish up some vocals. I just want to put out new music for people, give people new things to cry about, to laugh about. I'm looking forward to going on tour and talking to everyone about, the music. And yeah, I just want to, grow my fan base and build bigger community. But
do you have like an ultimate goal in mind? Do you have like I've made it?
Well, I have to tell myself that I have already made it. I am a full-time musician sitting in a house paid for by music. So I've made it. So that I'm here. But I do have goals because, I think about you and your little spreadsheet that you had color-coded.
Oh God, you're putting me on blast. So many spreadsheets.
And I live for a type A queen, okay? And so, just like you, of course, I have things that I want to achieve.
And the bar moves; it keeps growing.
Yeah,
you got an Apple Sync, and
To me, it's about being ambition. This is a business, and I want it to grow. I also believe in my music. I believe in what I'm doing, and so I want more people to hear it. And I love my fans, and I love the community that I'm building. So, of course, I want Grammys. I want, arena tours. I want a tour bus. I want all the things.
Okay. Say them out loud. Yes.
Yes. But I always say none of those things are what I'm looking for happiness. Those are just things I want as an ambitious type A woman. But happiness is, can I pay my mortgage? Is my family okay and healthy? Can I wake up and decide what I want to do every day? And I get to do that. So, and girl, then once I find a man, honey, it's over. Okay? That's the last thing.
Well, he will be very lucky. Thank you so much for being a guest on Femme House Radio. We are huge fans. I am obsessed with you, and I couldn't be more honored to have made music with you. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.